Hey everyone, my name is Zach REDRUP. This is the It's Not a Phase podcast, and on this episode, I'm joined by future Palace vocalist Maria Lessing. We talk about their brand new album, Distortion, its common thread regarding mental health, connecting this loose concept to references and images of demons, collaborating with Charlie from As Everything Unfolds, her aversion to contact lenses, and loads more. But before we jump into the chat, if you do enjoy the podcast, then please consider taking a few seconds of your time to support it. You can hit subscribe or follow wherever you're checking this out so you don't miss out on any future episodes. You can leave a review or a comment. You can give the podcast a follow on social media. And if you'd like to go one step further, there's also a Patreon and there's a web store too. You can find links to everything that I've just mentioned in the description of this episode, or you can head on over to itsnotaphase.co.uk. And now with all that out of the way, here's my chat with Maria. What's up everybody? Thank you for joining me on this episode of the It's Not a Phase podcast, where I'm joined by Maria of future Palace. How's it going?
Hello, what's up?
What's
It's
up?
going good. What's up? My casual hello sentence. What's up, guys?
Starting off well.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get to the big news for you guys recently is obviously the third album, Distortion, that dropped, a good few weeks back now. How do you feel it's been going down with the fans?
I think it's going good so far. I was pretty scared this time because we change each time we do an album. We change up something genre-wise or whatever-wise. Like this time I screamed so much more, and I think we have more electronic parts than before, or like kind of techno and also deathcore parts, if you can say so. So it is something new again, and you never know how people will receive it, how they like it, and I'm pretty positive that there is no hate song or anything where someone like, what the hell is this song? Or any comments like that. Mostly it's very, very positive. So I'm very relieved and happy, and also just happy it all worked out. So, yeah.
Well, the last album, Run, that did like really well for you guys, didn't it? Did that kind of make you, well, you said you were a bit nervous, but did it make you kind of consider, I don't know, what things you liked most about that record or what you didn't like, and that kind of made you decide what to do this time?
Yeah, it does kind of influence you, of course. With me, I'm mostly part of like the creative process, and also, of course, all the singing, all the lyrics, and the entire concept pretty much is always for me. So I was kind of annoyed that or I think that's just an artist's dilemma, that you have your visions and your ideas and you want to get them as close as possible to what's in your head. And budget always kind of stops you. And also oftentimes you not work with new people and you don't know how it will turn out. And you don't always know how to like translate your ideas well enough so everyone gets it. And I think for Run, it has gotten a bit better than for our first album, Escape. We just started out. There was like not much money. We just took our videographer, Bipo, who we still work with right now. He used to do our music videos back then, and we did one of them in his living room and stuff like that. So it was super, super low budget and just make it. For Run, we had a bit of a bigger budget for the first time and had to understand how to like work with it. I think we made some pretty poor decisions here and there. One big topic was the album cover. Like we rented a room for a lot of money last time to shoot the album cover in there, and it ended up just not really working out how we thought, and we ended up using a lot of Photoshop and kind of just like building it ourselves. And I was so annoyed by this entire process in the end. Like I was like, it's not really what I thought. And yeah, and with Distortion, I think it's way more put together and way more what I had in mind. If it's the videos or the album artwork, the promo photos all together, I'm much more comfortable with it now, and I feel like we grow more into this creation process, which you kind of don't learn. You don't know how that works before, and you think it's way easier than it is in the end. It's so many steps, and going from demo to studio to just visualizing everything and making everything real is so many people are involved. In the studio we have like producers and everything, so I think it's gotten more and more us, if that makes sense. And I think Distortion is the closest to us than anything we've created before, I think.
Yeah, Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine to make like mistakes and stuff like I mean, that's expected, isn't it? Like no one's perfect. You can't make the perfect album every time. I think the
Yeah.
important thing is if you do make mistakes, you kind of recognize and understand what the mistake is so that you can avoid that the next time.
Yeah, absolutely. And we try to do that, but of course you will never fully learn. And the more budget you have, the more options you have to try out, but you never would know in the end how somebody will do art. That's the thing. Like if you work with graphic designers or anything, or with producers, it's always art. It's not like you go to a print shop and tell them do this. There will always be somebody else involved, and you need to know where it will lead to and if you will like it in the end, or you need to get along with these people and make sure they understand your vision well. And yeah, of course, your own part is also very important, like your own vision. Are your ideas even cool? And that's what I doubted quite a bit with this album in the beginning, because it was so rushed, everything, because I was under a lot of time pressure. And I was kind of scared that I'm just creating trash, really, like the like lyrics wise, vocal wise. I'm like, what have I even done? And why is it so much screaming? Will I regret this? But I think now, coming closer to our headline tour, which starts in 9 days,
Wow.
I think pretty confident that it will be good. So yeah, also live, that it will work out live.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see
Yeah.
how it
Yeah.
goes.
I think sometimes like you can't quite see like you said that you're looking at your lyrics and you think, oh, these might not be good enough. And I think
Mm.
sometimes you don't see like their true potential until you've like done the full song where you've made like this full album and you can see the
Yeah.
whole thing, right?
Yeah, and it's hard to see a whole thing really, because we always work single from single, and then later on we start working with the album. We never start doing an album and then singles. That it's always four singles at least that have been done already, and then we will think about an album. So yeah, it is hard, as I said, to see it as
Mm.
an internal, like entire thing. It is even harder, I think, to get four songs and kind of mold them into an album concept. That is always quite a challenge, and I would prefer to first write an album and then pick the singles,
Yeah.
but that's just not the way we do it mostly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Maybe next time, a bit further down the line when I guess you might get a bit more comfortable with how that would pan out, I suppose.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
think my personality fits singles way
Yeah.
better, because I'm a very spontaneous and, I don't know, like creative person. I get bored so quickly by concepts and full ideas, and I will always jump out of my strategy or my plan. So maybe it's good this way,
Yeah.
but maybe it will change in the future. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, whatever works for you, that's the way to go, right? So
yeah.
yeah. Well, the first single, Malphas, that came out in like April 2023.
Hmm.
So when did the album start coming together? Was that initially like a meant to be just like a one-off single? And the album wasn't really in the thought process just yet?
I don't really quite remember. I know that we had to do new music because we were like quiet for so long, and it would just make sense to release a new song while going on this huge tour that we were on with Electric Callboy. So yeah, that made a lot of sense. That single performed very, very well. And we've just done that in between. It was just like, let's do something to not like disappear, like to
Yeah.
disappear from Spotify. But it was pretty sure that we would have to do an album soon. The timing was just not really there since we've done so many tours. So we took our time with it and knew that this year we had, like, it started last year pretty much. It started last year in December when I've done all the demos, but songs like Uncontrolled were already written back then.
Right.
And they were also recorded in this year, like last year already. I think The Echoes of Disparity was also recorded last year. So already three singles. I think even no, I think that yeah, these songs were recorded last year. So it was clear to us at the end of last year that this is going to be an album, and we made it happen very quickly because in January we recorded the entire album, and yeah, just released it now. So that was a very, very, very short process
Yeah.
from realizing we want an album to creating it. And we've never had such a short process, I think, ever.
Yeah. Well, hopefully next time you have a bit more time on your hands to kind of, yeah, really sink into it a bit more.
Yeah, but I actually so far, even though it was horrible for me, like I hate stress, but also I love new things. And I really much love how new it is to me still and how exciting it is to me. And we've never really, also with this tour now, we will play this song for the first time. And that is very new to me as well. Like usually we play, like last time we've played these songs of Run so many times before, and then having a Run tour felt so late.
Yeah.
And this time it's just all fresh and everyone is still hyped up, and I am as well because we've just recorded the videos like April, May, and now it's October. So yeah, I like it actually, even though it is very annoying. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's still fresh for you. So yeah, it's new and exciting for you as opposed to like sitting on an album for so long and then finally went out. Like
yeah.
it's much older for you than it is for the fans.
Yeah, and I feel like you change so much as a person so quickly, like anything could happen. And I personally dislike it a lot when I put out something that I don't even identify with anymore. And that can happen so quickly. For some, it doesn't, maybe. Some people stay very the same. But for me right now, if I would record the album right now, it would sound different than what it does now. Because
Yeah.
I have improved a lot with screaming techniques from right jumping out of the studio. Like 1 month later, I took like screaming lessons. And yeah, so that already is a big difference. So I'm hoping for people to even be happier when they see it live. That would be the best case, that they like it on the record and they go to the show and that they're like, wow, that is actually even better. I mean,
Yeah.
that would be the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be
So
amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, let's
Um,
hope so.
yeah. Well, I noticed there was like kind of a theme in some of the songs. So you got, Malphas and Decarabia, which are like demons, and obviously in some of the videos there are demons, and you're dressed as a demon in one of them.
Hmm.
Was demonology and that kind of, I guess, like occult, satanic kind of thing, was that ever an influence into creating this album?
I got that asked in the last album too, I think, for the first time, finally. So it's interesting that you asked that too. Not really as a main theme. I was thinking of taking it as a theme for this album, but the main theme is mental illness and yeah, psychological issues and how they distort your reality and your view in life or in the world. So that is the main theme. That was pretty clear after writing like two, three, four songs. I'm like, okay, this is obviously about like mental health, and
Hmm.
this time also different kind of yeah, mental illnesses, like narcissism, ADHD, anxiety, depression, so many different ones. And I was thinking about how can I present it the most or the closest way possible. And I got super tired of all these metaphors while writing songs, because I've been writing songs about depression since day one, like also with my old band already. So for many years, and I feel like you get really bored as a writer at some point, and yeah, you kind of want to switch up the metaphors. And I knew that like these mental illnesses fit very well with like demons, or it feels like being possessed a lot of times. Like it feels like it's not you because it isn't really you. Because
Yeah.
mental, yeah, your mental health, or not mental health, your mental illness is not you. And that is so weird. And that's why I also call it distortion, to kind of present that it is not your reality. And I think that's the closest way to show it, kind of, to
Yeah.
show that your thoughts are not you, and all these destruction thoughts and suicidal thoughts or whatever it might be, or like with ADHD, there are also way different things than like suicidal thoughts. But that's just the feeling that something grabs you and yeah, kind of just shakes you and stuff. I wish I would have gone with this theme, but as I just said, I'm so chaotic.
Yeah.
I do woo, this and this because I wish I could have chosen a demon for each illness, but I think that
Yeah.
would have taken like overboard. And usually with these two songs, it was funny and simple that I sat down, I wrote this album, and I was like, what would this album? I wrote the song like Malphas, for example. I was like, what the hell is gonna write with this word,
Yeah.
rhyme with this word? And then I thought about like demons just out of nowhere. I'm like, it feels like a demon, and I'm possessed by a mess. I was like, I need something with an S at the end. And then I just looked up demon names and checked what kind of meaning they have. And usually, and I said that in the last interview, with me, it is always, or in my life, it is really like like not esoteric, but like spiritual, weird, that things just match a lot of times and they come to me, that I don't really have to look for them, but they kind of come to me and fit.
Yeah.
And with that, it was the same case that when I like looked up Malphas or found Malphas, that it just made sense for this entire song. And then I tried to play around with these metaphors. And with Decorabia was actually the exact same thing. Because I knew, yeah, with Malphas it worked. I'm just going to try it again. Decorabia, like something with Bia at the end. And then I found this demon. Funnily, was also like a raven kind of demon that can transform into a bird. I'm like, that is interesting. And this demon, Decorabia, can transform into a bird and sing and like kind of hypnotize their prey or whatever it is. And I thought that is so similar to like depression. And the song Decorabia is about specifically about what it's like to be in a relationship with someone who also struggles with depression. So both parties are depressed. And it kind of feels like dancing to some weird melody together. Like we're both in this trance thing and this trance world, and this demon, which also in a music video is throwing the party, the DJ, he's kind of doing it, and it just made sense. So I wrote the song around this word after finding it, and tried to make this song about like a kind of party. I already had this this vision in my head, like, hey, it's a party with demons, and we all dance to this weird demon song, and kind of we're all like possessed and in a different world. And so that is the reason. It is not really that I'm satanic or anything. It's just my weird head.
Not sacrificing anything anytime soon, no.
No.
I think it, you know, even like subtly, it kind of ties into like mental health as well. Obviously, that's kind of like the common thread in this record. But people say a lot, like when they talk about their mental health, it's like they're fighting their demons, and you've literally kind of tied demons as well. So it kind of fits in that way as well, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, also historical wise, I talked about that with Manuel, our guitarist, because he's a doctor in history, which most people don't know. And so he can talk a lot about that. And when we were in the studio, we would sit down in the kitchen a lot of times in the evening and just talk like a lot about like philosophy things, kind of. And that one time we talked about mental health, and he said, actually, okay, that was not really the case with that. But he, for example, said people back then thought that being lovesick is an illness, or love is an illness. And back then people oftentimes thought that things are demons or the gods or whatever, when later science would prove them wrong, that it's not a demon, it's not that. But I kind of like how they did that here and there, because it kind of visualizes that it is really not us, that it is not a demon really, but it feels very, very close to one. And we talked a lot about like this mental health topic, and he said that also back then people would not see it as mental illness, but as a character trait. Like, this is a more melancholic person, or this is a more enthusiastic person. And I'm like, well, but that is dangerous, I think, because he's like, well, why do we have to call it something negative? Why do we have to say it's a demon? And I'm like, because it comes with a lot of pain and struggles. It might have advantages here and there, but I see more struggles than anything else. And I think it helps you to call it a demon, because you kind of you push it away from yourself, which is, I think, healthy, because as soon as you think you're the demon, it's the moment you lose, I think.
Yeah, there's like
that should not happen. Yeah.
There's like a separation kind of thing, kind of singling it out, like,
Yeah. So it's actually pretty healthy to use satanic words.
Yeah. Pretty interesting. I never thought about that. So
Yeah. Me neither, that long.
Well, there's another single on the album, The Echoes of Disparity, and you worked with Charlie from As Everything Unfolds on that song, and I think you hadn't met actually in person when you did that collaboration. So how did that even come about?
Yeah, we haven't met, that's true. But we knew about each other for a while. I saw their band pretty early on already. So we kind of probably saw each other from a distance already, and our fans would oftentimes bring up their band and like, oh, you guys are so similar and stuff. And then they also toured with Electric Callboy back then. She did the feature I did, and I was like, oh, that's so funny, like so many similarities. And when I wrote the song, I thought it would be very, very, very cool to just have a singer on there who sings and screams.
Yeah.
And we were already in contact. I think, yeah, we followed each other on Instagram. We invited her even for the last tour when we played in the UK to come, but she sadly got COVID back then. So we wanted to meet before all of that even. And yeah, we just connected like step by step. And then I was like, yeah, let's just ask Charlie. Like, why not? We are in contact with her. She would be a good fit. She does the screaming, she does the singing. Also, I think it would be very funny because many people used to like compare us or bring us up, and then we're like, yeah, let's just work together and officially show like, yeah, we're cool with each other. Because
Yeah.
oftentimes, I think, well, I hope not, but I think oftentimes people do make a competition out of it, like, oh, this female singer or this female singer. But no, that's not how it works. Like, there cannot be only one successful female singer. There's not just Hayley Williams or Avril Lavigne or
Yeah.
Amy Lee.
Strange,
There's
isn't it?
there's way more, and it should not be about gender. It should be about a person. And
Yeah.
yeah, that I think it's very, very cool that we've done that. And then officially also like it's also kind of a statement that we like work together as women. And then with that message together, I'm so happy that this worked out. And we've played it live twice now, I think. Yeah,
Right.
twice, I think. And each time it's super, super cool. And I think we've like become friends over the time. Saw her like 3 times now. And I'm very happy, yeah, that we've done
Yeah.
it together.
Yeah, because she said in another interview, I think she said like you're like the European counterpart to them, and it sounds like you agree that that's the case.
Yeah, yeah. It's weird because to me, Europe is still the UK, but I know
Yeah.
it's not really. But it is kind of to me. But it is probably true that we're here, like in the middle European area, we are kind of like siblings or whatever
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. I mean, and what you said a minute ago, like about there's this competition with like female vocalists sometimes. Like, I mean, that kind of ties into the actual message of the song of,
Mm.
misogyny and stuff like that. It's just so strange that, in this kind of genre of heavy music that still exists, which means like it kind of justifies the song to
Yeah.
exist, which is just
Oh, yeah.
like I think I saw Courtney from Spirit Box, like someone commented on one of her videos or something saying, "Oh, you scream good for a girl." It's like why add that? Like, that's just a backhanded comment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think people are still in the mindset of, yeah, really old mindset of women being the quiet part and the part that stays at home. Actually, that's a very relevant topic because right now in this world situation, I think we're at a part that we really have to pay attention because politics and also society kind of splits a lot. We have like very liberal people and we have very conservative people. I feel like it's growing way more
yeah,
distant from each other, which is very dangerous. So with the song, I think, of course, it seems for people that it's very like liberal, but it shows that the people who also consume like metal music, that there are a lot of conservative people in there that would say stuff like that. And I think in times like these, it's even more important to speak out for your rights because also here in Germany, there's a party that gains more and more votes, which is very sad because they're very racist. And for Germany, that's the last thing we're allowed to be.
mm,
Not us. Like we are like we've done too much shit in the world, and this party kind of wishes for women to go back into the housewife mode, like trade wife, whatever thing it's called, to just get children, give more birth rates, not go to work, and just be there for their husbands. So yeah, it is very, very important, I think, to point out that we are more than just our gender. And also in the US, you can see how it splits so much and everywhere in the entire world. And that is so sad. But of course, it's kind of scary to put out a song like this at times right now.
yeah,
And it is scary to step into countries with maybe less rights for women. But I felt like it was very necessary. Like you could play the likable person and stay neutral. But I got so sick of how I got treated here and there, or how I saw people getting treated. And
mhm,
I just want to make sure that when I'm on stage, that it is a safe space and just use the stage I have. Like when you have so many people looking at you at a festival, I feel stupid not talking about things that are important, to be honest.
yeah.
Yeah, that was very important for me to write this song.
Yeah, just making your morals and ideals clear. And I think what helps with that with the song as well is that you don't kind of tie too many metaphors in the song. It's very, blunt and
Mm,
direct. Like this is the message of the song. Like you can't
yeah.
really get lost in translation there.
Which is, yeah, as I said, that's the scary part about it, because I could write it in a way, which I've done with a few songs, use metaphors or kind of hide the message to be not too clear. I think some people still interpret it differently than what it's supposed to be, because you can still, of course, put your own version on it. But I try to make it very clear. Also with the visuals, I kind of try to make it as clear as possible. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, obviously, kind of being the lyricist, that helps you tie in. Like, I know you're like very keen and interested and involved with the visual aspects, like the videos and the artwork and stuff. And we mentioned it earlier that in one of the videos for Uncontrolled, you're like dressed up as like this silver demon. That must have been a total pain to get all that paint off at the end.
It was actually all right. It was a little annoying, but I made sure that it is easy to do. So I ordered the silver suit, which is most of the body. So it was just my hands, my throat, and my face, really. Because the horns, the ears were like silicone, so we could paint these. Actually, I think the worst part were the contact lenses, because I hate stuff in my eyes so much. I have like not a trauma, but like a phobia almost. Like I cannot even think of it. And I knew it would only work with red contacts, and I usually do the acting part. So I was like, why have I put myself into this situation? And I've only wore contact lenses once with doing a feature with Samurai Pizza Cats. That's how I actually met Daniel from Electric Callboy. That's how that connection started. And they had a makeup artist on set, and he would just be like, yeah, you're going to wear white contacts today and not see anything. And I'm like, I've never worn contacts. Do we really have to do this? He's like, yeah, just be chill. Let's go. And then he did it, and I almost passed out. I had to lay there like,
Sounds awful.
It was, because it was also in front of my pupils, so I could really not see. And that was horrible for the first experience. And for that shoot, we didn't have anyone who was familiar with putting in contact lenses, except for our guitarist Manuel, and because he wears contacts daily.
Right.
And then he had to do it, and that was kind of funny, because like he's not a makeup artist or anything, and I'm not sure if he's ever put contact lenses into somebody else's eyes. So, and I'm super dramatic, like, oh, I'm dying, like that's so disgusting. So that was for me the worst part, and I'm pretty sure I don't want to ever do that again. Like, it's just
pry your eyes open and keep them open.
Yeah. And also they were like cat eyes. So they have like kind of a vertical like pupil. And it would turn all the time. And then I had to move it back again, and that was horrible. And then when people looked at me, I had like crooked eyes again. And then when I looked in the mirror, I'm like, oh, this is disturbing. But yeah, the face paint got off pretty easily. It's just the glue that stick to my face a few days. Because we didn't have a good remover there for the glue. So yeah. But besides that, it was okay.
Have you seen the film Clockwork Orange?
No, I don't think so.
But basically, they make him like watch these videos, so he didn't close his eyes. They have these metal things holding his eyelids open like that.
Oh no!
I mean, you could always do that, and then
yeah. Oh, that sounds horrible already. I cannot even talk about it. Once when I used to study media design for one semester, and we were watching like art movies in school. And I'm not sure if you know this Picasso movie, but there's one scene in there, and they don't warn you, and it's about eyes. And that thing scared me for my life about getting stuff in my eyes. And I cannot even talk about the scene without like passing out. And I am so angry at my like teacher that they played this movie without like telling us, maybe look away at that scene.
Yeah, trigger warning.
Oh my God, I cannot even think about that scene. I think that movie like messed me up with eye stuff. And that's also why I'm like scared of contacts and everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that is, the contacts were worse than the face paint.
Yeah. Well, we'll move on. And you've got some real life stuff
passing out.
We need to wrap up. Well, yeah, you mentioned before we've got a headline tour across Europe and the UK. What else is planned for the rest of 2024 and 2025 that you can talk about?
That's actually the tour goes until December. And even in December, we will have one more festival, the Get That Done Fest, with Any Given Day. We've never played with them, so that's fun, because they're also from Germany, and that's the first time we kind of do something together. We do it on I think 28th of December, so it's kind of like holiday season pretty much, which
Yeah,
is
Christmas.
also, yeah, so we really like end the year with the band as well. So it's just that from October to December. I think also this time, which we haven't done in a long time, I think the one time we've been on tour for a big amount of time was with Battle Beast back then in 2022 or something. I don't know.
Right.
Also around October, and we've been on tour for a month straight, and we've never done that before and have never done that since. Usually it's like many different legs of a tour.
Yeah.
For example, the Electric Callboy tour I think started in January until May or something. It was very long, but always like 3 days, 4 days, 6 days, something like that. And our last tour was similar to that. And this time we will go with 2 weeks, I think, usually 2 weeks. I think maybe even 3 weeks once. So the tour is more compact. And then November will be not that much, and then December again. So we will be very busy with tour. And I don't know. Yeah, the next stuff will happen next year, and it's already planned. And
Right.
I wish I could tell you already because it's very cool, but yeah, I cannot.
Yeah. Just keep your eyes open on the social media and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There will
Cool.
be cool stuff.
Well, Maria, thank you very much. Really appreciate you taking the time to speak to me about all things Distortion and everything else. Any final words before I let you go and enjoy the rest of your day?
Not really. Just come and join us on tour because, yeah, the songs will be played for the first time ever. I think the tour will be very cool. And yeah, I think that's it. Tickets are still available, especially for the UK. And keep your eyes open on the socials, as I said. And thanks for having me.
Thanks,
Nice.
Maria. Take care of yourself.
You too. Bye.
Bye. And that's it. Thanks so much for tuning in to It's Not a Phase. If you enjoyed this episode, then don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes. Leave a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. Follow the podcast on social media, and maybe even join the Patreon or grab some merch from the store. You can find everything that you need at itsnotaphase.co.uk. That's itsnotaphase.co.uk. Thanks again. Hopefully catch you on the next one. And remember, it's not a phase, it's a lifestyle.